Hey everyone, and welcome to today's stream. I'm going to be continuing on from building my AI agent, and the goal is to replace business analysts. So if you were here with me, last week actually, we were working through creating an AI agent that was going to take a meeting transcription, turn it into user stories, upload it into Google Sheets, and then a human would come in and actually approve the user stories, and they would appear in Jira. So let's just make sure I've got everything set up before we begin. Looks like we are ready to rock and roll. Hey guys, thanks for joining on TikTok. Nice to have you guys here. Alrighty. So let's go in and explore what our process was. So if you remember from last time, we had an AI agent for writing user stories in Jira, okay? What we were doing was, on the event of a transcript being saved to a Google Drive file, our AI agent would review the transcript, generate requirements, then create the user stories, and save those user stories to Google Sheets. What was going to happen after that was once they were saved to Google Sheets, we would wait until a human reviews those user stories. The human can either reject with comments and it goes back to the AI agent, or they approve it and then the AI agent saves it in Jira. All right, guys, so let's go have a look at that. So in my Google Drive, I've got a meeting with client. It's just the placeholder here with, dummy text for our discovery session. Alex and Chris were talking about discuss the needs for a customer support AI agent, understand your current processes, blah, blah, blah. So if we go to our Jira bot, what is going to happen here is when we execute this workflow, it's going to search our folder here for any files. We're going to get that document. We're going to pass the information from that document to our requirements gathering AI agent. So we pass in the content of the document and then we give it a system message. So just remember what that was. Essentially, you are an expert AI requirements analyst. Job is to analyze, discovery meeting transcript, and extract distinct functional and non-functional business requirements. Hey everyone, thanks for joining on TikTok. And let's continue. So the goal is to identify and articulate each unique requirement clearly, input, and then we have an output where we change it into a JSON structure. JSON structure looks to be, we have requirements. Yeah, we just have a requirements object. Okay. Once we get the requirements from the AI agent, they split out each of those requirements. We append it to a Google Sheet. So let me just open that so we can see. Requirements. Let me get rid of the old ones. Cool. Make this a bit nicer so everyone can see what's going on. So once we get the requirements, we add them to the Google Sheets, and then we have another AI agent. Why do we have another AI agent? I forgot. So one gets them, and the next one generates user stories. Okay, yep. This makes sense. Hey Fetzo, thanks for joining. So essentially what happens is we get the requirements, append them to the Google Sheets, then we have a second AI agent who generates those user stories and appends them to the row, so the column matching the requirements row. So let's go see that in action, okay guys? So I'm going to click on execute this. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to click on execute. See, it's getting the transcripts, going to our AI agent who's going to generate those requirements into a JSON format. Then they'll split them out. And we'll just make sure something's gone wrong here. Just refresh that. Meeting ID, I don't need this. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Let's execute that step. Cool, so you can see here, we've got all the requirements plus the meeting where those requirements have come from. Let's continue and we'll go pass it to our user story generating. Thanks, Ronald, for the follow. Appreciate it. Passing it to our user story generating AI agent. It's going to be thinking. There are 20 requirements that they gathered, so this might take a little bit. Just bear with it. And what we're expecting is, just go preview it. So our first AI agent's actually gone and uploaded the requirements. And our second one is going to generate the user stories plus the acceptance criteria. And hopefully it populates the status and a timestamp. But let's just have a quick read through of the requirements. So the AI agent must be able to accurately answer frequently asked questions. AI agents to understand the intent of the customer queries and route them to the correct department. AI agent needs to be available 24/7, support multiple channels, access to basic customer information. This is pretty cool. We've actually got a lot of requirements from that transcript. If we go back to our Jira board, we're on number 17, 18, so we'll give it 2 more routes, and now they're going to append and update and create those user stories. So if we go back to our spreadsheet now, you can see all of the requirements have a user story plus acceptance criteria, and they're all in new status. Cool, there's something wrong there, but we'll look at it later. So as an end user, I want the AI agent to accurately answer frequently asked questions. The acceptance criteria are given the AI agent is provided with knowledge base. When the frequently asked question is presented, then the agent provides an answer that matches the information. So this looks pretty good, all right? Now, if we go back to our n8n, what I did have, I don't know if I should change this. So this is continuing on from last week. I have a trigger, human in the loop here, who needs to change the status from new to approved or rejected. Let's scrap that. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add it to our existing workflow. So I want to skip the human in the loop now. I want to go directly into Jira. So what I need to do is change the filter from approved to new. Cool, so let's do that. We should have 20 or 19, I think, 20. And let's go and execute and upload our Jira board. So right now our Jira board's empty. Let's go and create that. So let's just hope that Jira doesn't have any rate limits on it. We will find out. So it looks like it's taking a little bit of time, but that's okay. Hopefully it doesn't time out, but let's just go and refresh our Jira board. See if there's any user stories. Nice, we've got 16 items now. Cool. So we had 20 items created, and let's go and update our Google Sheets. Cool, oh, published. So what we can see here is it's gone ahead and published all of our user stories and added it to Jira. Cool, so we've got 20 work items, perfect. Let's go have a look to see, make sure that the descriptions and acceptance criteria have been filled out correctly. Perfect. So this all appears to be working for our AI agent. So we've essentially just replaced a business analyst. Cool. So if we go back to where we are, we're now at this point. Hey, thanks for the like, Denis, appreciate it. So we're now at 1.6, right? So we've saved the user stories in Jira. What we need to figure out now is what are we going to do next? So let's go ahead and see where we want to go to. So what we can do is, now that we've got the tickets in there, I want to create an AI agent that does the solutioning. So because I have a Salesforce background, let's go make a Salesforce solution architect so I can actually verify if these solutions are correct or not. All right. So we're going to continue that. And we're going to call this AI agent for solution architect. I'll just call it solution architect AI agent, okay? So once the Jira, once the ticket has been saved to Jira, we need to review the requirements, generate proposed solutions, and then update the user stories with the solutions, okay? Update user stories and change status. Add proposed solutions to user stories and then update user story status, okay? So we'll call this 2.0 and let's call this 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and we'll just end it there for now, okay? Proposed solutions, user story status equals something. So what do we want to change our status to? So I'm just going to have a quick look. In our statuses, we've got in progress, in review, ready to develop, and done. So let's go ahead and edit the statuses. View workflow. So we start, we go to new. How do we add new statuses? Can you add a new status for solutions? What should we call that? So new, just check Ask Gemini. In Jira, what status can we use when a user story's requirements have been reviewed and a proposed solution has been added by a solution architect? Solutioning ready for development. We'll just use ready for development, I suppose. Cool. So once it goes to new, it can go to ready to develop. And that means we've got a solution. All right. So what are we going to do now? Let's add another item, ready to develop. All right, so let's go create a new AI agent. And what we will do is we'll call this a solution architect AI agent, okay? So our requirements now are going to have here is the requirement, user story, and acceptance criteria that you need to create a proposed solution for in Salesforce, okay? So let's go and write can you write me a AI system message for a Salesforce architect who is going to review requirements plus including the user story and acceptance criteria and come up with a proposed solution for the Jira ticket. Okay guys, let's see what happens there. Alrighty. So cool, this looks good. Awesome. So do I need to have a JSON? Hey, thanks for the likes, guys. Appreciate it. Let's continue. So do I need to have a JSON format for that? So we'll just use the same chat model for now. Probably going to need a structured output parser. We'll figure that one out later. So let's figure out what we can do with Jira. So through the API, we can get an issue. We have an issue key, right? So I'll probably need to add an issue key here. And in our previous node, when we append or add that, let's refresh and add the issue key. So let's execute that step again. Nice. All right, so now we've got something that we can use to, we can use that as our primary key. So our solution architect AI agent can go ahead and update it. So let's go back to our AI agent now. So when we get an issue, we're going to use the issue key So we're going to pass through the requirement, the user story, and the acceptance criteria, okay? And we'll pass through the key as well. So issue key, requirement, user story, and acceptance criteria. Put that in the new line. So that's going to look like that. Pass through, no, I don't care about that. So we're going to get all this good information. What I need them to do is to change it to, wow, okay. Your live contains themes that are uncomfortable and have been restricted. Violates community guidelines. That's interesting. Oh, well, TikTok. Interesting. So let's continue with the solution architect bit. So what we need to figure out is JSON. Can you create a JSON payload that includes the issue key and proposed solution? So what we're going to reference is a proposed solution, and let me just close this for a sec. So do we want a title plus no, just one. I just want the proposed solution. No, I just want the proposed solution. Let me just get rid of TikTok again. Cool, just starting it up again. Go for it. All right, can everybody hear me? Awesome. So I'm just going to go and try and figure out how we can do this. So we've got proposed solution. No, I just kind of want it should only be Salesforce proposed solution. Wait, create the two values, key value pairs. Alrighty guys, let's see. That looks good to me. All right. So what I want to do is return the output must be in the following JSON format. Cool. Let's go to our output parser, change that, and see if that works. We're getting close, guys, so that's going to be good. Hey, Ali. Hey, Tapman. How you doing? So let's just hope, cross fingers, this is going to work. And I'll check the logs while we're at it. Hey, so it looks like it is working. So what we've got is CAN4. I'll just check, we've got CAN4 there. So proposed solution So eventually we'll update the proposed solution column as well. And that will include the AI architect's proposed solution. So this is probably going to take a little while. We've got 20 items to get through, so it's kind of slow. But hey, we're going to do an entire solution for a customer support AI agent, and that is going to be in our Jira board. So we'll just talk about where we're going next, okay, guys? So updates, user story, add proposed solution to Jira. So do we want Google Sheets anymore? Probably not. So what we will want to do here is to add a little status. So that will be intermediary is going to be signal, and that's going to be new. Status equals new. So I'm going to remove the human, and we're just going to go straight into Jira, I think. Like that. And then that's going to continue on into our solution AI architect. And I'll just make sure that we have this update as well. It's a good idea to update your documentation as you go. Cool. So we're gonna have AI agent do all this stuff here. Update should be 1.4. And this will start at 1.4. Cool. Hey guys, thanks for joining. We're just building our second part, which is the solution architect AI agent now. So we'll just go check on how our Jira bot's going. We've got out of the 20, we have 8 proposed solutions that we're going to attach to each of the different. Hey, thanks for the follow, user. Appreciate it. 8 of the 20 user story requirements now will have proposed solutions, and we'll see what that looks like. So once we generate the issues, the proposed solutions, we need to get the issue using the issue key. Oh, thanks for the like, Abdi. And then, can we update an issue? So what I want to look for is if I can actually append text to the description. Otherwise, I might have to completely override it, and I don't really want to do that. So let's see. Jira, can we append? n8n Jira node append. Okay, so retrieve the current value of the field you want using the get operation. Combine the retrieved value with the new data using a set node, whatever, and then we have to update it. So we don't actually have a native append option. That's fine, we can update it somehow. How is everyone doing? Sayas, Lin, Fetso, thanks everyone for watching. All right, so we've got 7 more issues. Okay. So after we do our solutioning, we need to go and update our status to ready for develop, right? But do we even need a project manager? So once it's ready for development, we'll need to prioritize which user stories need to be built right in the current sprint. So if we're using ready to develop, we need to figure out, it goes from ready to develop to the current sprint, so we can add it, or we can add a due date on it. And then we can assign it. So let's have a look at that. So I want to add a status. Prioritized for development. Oops. And this is going to be in progress, I suppose. Cool, so it can go something like this, guys. So it's going to go new, ready to develop, prioritized, in progress, and done. This is very, very simple, but it will work for our simple POC. Cool, so we have new, ready to develop, in progress. Cool, save changes, done, and let's go back to our board. All right, let's see how we go. Okay, so we've got 20 items now. That's really cool. What we should do is get those 20 items. So we've got 20 items here now. We're going to use the issue key, and we want to update the description with the actual description here. And then we want to add the proposed solution underneath there. That looks really good. So let's go and update that in our Jira board. Oh, shivers. We also need to update the status, guys. So the status now needs to go to ready for develop. So I'll update that again afterwards. Hey, mhabs tones VV, your Chinese teacher. That's awesome. So let me just update that again. Hey, n8n. I hope everyone's enjoying the stream today. So after we do that update in Jira, we're going to update all of the statuses plus the description. We also then want to go ahead and update Google Sheets. So I'm using Google Sheets as my sort of backup repository to make sure that we don't lose any of the values from the AI agent's work. So what I want to do is update or append again. The key can be so I want to update on that, and I want to remove the columns, so the requirements. Issue key is going to be cool. And then I'm going to update the proposed solution, which comes from the AI agent here. And then I want to update as well the status field should now be ready for development from memory. So let's just have a look at that. If I go here, published is ready to develop with a capital camel case. Ready to develop. So let's save that. Update our Google spreadsheet now. Awesome, look at that. We've actually got very in detailed proposed solutions. So let's go have a look at our Jira board now. Refresh that. Cool, so we've got 20 user stories now that are ready for development. So if we click into it here, proposed solution, oh, we can fix that later, but essentially we have generated the user story, the acceptance criteria, plus the proposed solution with all of the technical requirements for 20 user stories in about like 2 minutes, everyone's seen. So in 2 minutes, we've got a proposed solution. Now, I think that is where I'll stop for today. If you've enjoyed the stream so far, please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're watching on. Where I'm going to take this next is I'm going to have to decide, now that we've got a proposed solution, so status is going to be ready for development, ready to develop. Now that I've got the status is equal to ready to develop, we'll need to have some sort of priority or sequence that we want to develop those stories in, right? So for example, you'd probably have to ensure that all your objects, tables, users, permissions are created. Hi Sophian, thanks for joining. You probably need to make sure that all of your fundamental setup is done first before we can actually complete each of the user stories, right? So that's where I guess like the project manager may come in handy. If the project manager is able to sequence these in different events, so you know, Jira ticket 4 gets developed, Jira ticket 7 gets developed next. That's what I think we can leverage the project manager with. So let's just quickly look at that step. So this will be 3.0 project manager AI agent, okay? Essentially what we want the AI agent to do is we want the AI manager to start at 2.4, right? So when they start at 2.4, their trigger will be as soon as tickets are changed to ready to be developed, added proposed solution to user, set. Cool. So as soon as that happens, the project manager probably needs to go ahead and do something. Review all user stories, I suppose. Prioritize user stories. So let's just quickly see what we can do with that. So get user stories. Wait, how to sequence Jira tickets in order. Sufin says, can you please recap the idea in a few seconds so I can understand and follow you? Yeah, sure. All right, so the whole point of this workflow that I'm developing is to see how far we can push AI to replace business analysts, solution architects, project managers, just the whole sort of software development lifecycle. So in episode 1, what I did was I've created an AI agent for writing user stories. So their whole role is to replace a business analyst. What happens is we'll have a transcript of a discovery session loaded into Google Drive. Once the transcript has been saved to the Google Drive folder, our AI agent reviews the transcript, generates the requirements, creates user stories, and then they'll save them to a Google Sheet, which I've just been capturing here for all of the different requirements, right? Now, once they save it to Google Sheets, I'm going to go and ask the AI agent's going to go ahead and save those requirements and user stories plus acceptance criteria into Jira. So if you have a look here, I've got 20 work items in my backlog. Each of them has the user story at the top and the acceptance criteria. So that's part 1. Once our business analyst AI agent has completed, we pass it over to our solution architect AI agent. Their job is, once the user stories have been saved to Jira, they're going to go ahead and review all those requirements and generate proposed solutions. They'll then add those proposed solutions to the user stories and set the user stories to ready to develop. So if we go back into our Jira tickets, you can see here the format's a little bit bad, I apologize. But they've done sort of the architecture, all the risks, the assumptions, the design overview, and how to build it and the security framework. So each of these user stories now has a proposed solution on how to build it out in Salesforce, okay? So we'll have 20 requirements, 20 different solutions. They should all tie together. Where we're at currently right now is the solution architect has now changed, well, added the proposed solution and changed the status of those tickets to ready to develop. We're now going to pass it to a project manager AI agent. And I'm trying to think what role the project manager AI agent will have. So the initial idea is they're going to review all of the different user stories in the Jira board and set priorities, so different sequences, right? So the idea will be we need to have our foundation set up before we can actually go ahead and build out all of the processes and configuration. So things such as user profiles, permission sets, tables, objects, validation rules, all those foundational level things should ideally be done earlier in the build. And then as we progress through our technical build, then we can go and add and build all the functional requirements, okay? So trying to map out the project manager AI agent and then how we're going to pass that to an AI agent for development. So that's where we're going. We're going to have an AI agent who develops it, an AI agent who tests it, and then have a human who does the final review. So yeah, essentially, if I had a discovery meeting with a client, I could press, thanks for the like Chase C. If I had a discovery session with a client, I can upload the transcript and get fully fleshed out user stories, acceptance criteria, proposed solutions, some of the development done, and it tested within, like, I don't know, let's just say half an hour, an hour. So I have a whole team of AI agents working for me. The delivery time would be from months, weeks, could possibly be down to hours, okay? So that's the kind of high level idea, just building out a POC right now, and just doing a little bit each day. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. So Yearning Master says, what the workflow that's highly used but still demand? Yeah, it's a very, very simple workflow at the moment. I'm just seeing how far we can actually push n8n with some of the out-of-the-box AI agents and how much needs to be configured. If I can do a POC that does the proof of concept, I'll be happy, and then obviously just keep building MVPs, adding on until you get some sort of good product. But again, guys, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, YouTube. If you guys can follow me on TikTok, that's even better, at christorrington.com, trying to grow my audience there. But let's stop there and join me for the next one where I go out and build this project manager AI agent, and we'll continue the journey. So thank you so much. Appreciate it, and don't forget to follow. Bye, guys.